Vicky tells me if we're live or not. But
It's not showing as live for me yet.
okay.
Oh wait,
There.
now it's up.
All right. Awesome. Well, welcome to our reading of Spaceballs, classic 1986 film by Mel Brooks. I'm so excited for this one. It's one of my absolute favorites. Really fun to watch. And we'll just jump right into it. I do some last minute casting changes, so bear with us. A lot of us are cold reading our parts this evening, although with this kind of movie, it doesn't necessarily make a lot of difference. Anyways, we'll go through with our introductions, and we will start with names, pronouns, where you're at, what parts you're reading, and where people can find you on social media. I will start with Jackson, since I can see you in my top left corner.
Hi, I'm Jackson Gray. You can find me on anything. My pronouns are whatever you prefer. I live in central Alberta. Yeah, and I think that's most of the stuff. Oh, I'm playing Barf, King Roland, and why I forget his name now.
Sanders.
There we go. Someone got it for me. Okay, thank you. Yes, that's me.
All right. Jen.
Hi, I'm Jen. I use she, her pronouns. I am in New Jersey, and I am playing Princess Vespa, Scroob, Laser Gunner, Yogurt, a couple other folks as well.
Okay. And anywhere people can find you on social media, or you're just kind of anonymous out there?
I'm in the Facebook group.
On the Facebook group. All right. Let's see, Tori.
Hello, my name is Tori. I will be reading for Dark Helmet, Zircon, Vinny, some actions and directions, kind of here and there. I am in South Carolina. Pronouns are she, her. And you can find me. I have a TikTok that I do a lot of bookish nerd things on. So if you want to follow me there, it's at Lori Paystes, LoriPaystes.
Awesome. Aubrey, are you back there in the background yet? She might be taking a quick little break. Should have waited for her to start. Well, while we're waiting for Aubrey, I'll go ahead and introduce myself. I'm Kat Wilson, your host this evening. And in addition, I use she, her pronouns. I live in Gig Harbor, Washington. Tonight, my main character is Dot, and I'll be doing some of the actions and descriptions. And several of the minor characters, guards, weddings, Moron, Scotty, and a cross-eyed lieutenant. At least for the first half. We might only get through the first half of the show this evening because it's a pretty long one. And when I'm not reading here at Table Read Tuesdays, you can also find me directing some Shakespeare shows on select Saturdays of the month with 2 households in Fair Corona. And I also have my own small little YouTube channel, just Shakespeare with Kat, and we talk about some of the background of some of the plays that we read. Aubrey, are you here? Nope, not yet. All right, so we'll give her a few minutes to get back. So while we're waiting for Aubrey, how many of you have seen this movie before? Tori has, Jen has, I have. Jackson has not. So we have this will be interesting to see your commentary at the end when we get to the to the back. I think he says he's seen some scenes from here, but
every time you guys choose a movie, I've never seen it or haven't seen it in like forever. Like,
which is
every
crazy.
single time.
This time we picked pretty much all good classics. So
I think there's been one movie I think I've watched.
Oh, which one is that?
3, 4. Avengers.
Oh, Avengers. Okay, yes, a bit more modern. Granted, this one is somewhat before your time, being back in 1986. So,
okay,
Aubrey, would you like to introduce yourself when you got a chance?
Oh, hello. My name is Aubrey McCoy. I am playing the part of Lone Star and various other people. My pronouns are whatever. Whatever's good for you is good for me. Yeah, and I'm from Northern California.
All right. Anywhere people can find you on social media, or would you
yes, you can find me on at Lucy and the Fair on Instagram, Aubrey McCoy on Facebook, and On Spotify, you can find my album, Unexpected Journey by Aubrey McCoy. There we go.
Awesome. All right, and you get the chance to take a look at that. All right, so we're going to go ahead and share our screen here with our script. As soon as I figure out where I stuck it, well, we'll take a look here, and it should be on one of these pages here. There it is. All right, F11, and it looks probably a little small. Let's see if we can make it one more section larger. Well, this one's not actually making it. Usually, oh, here, let's try that. Is that too big there? Let's see, or is that just right?
If I move this, oh, it should be fine.
I can make it one smaller, is that better? Or you like it first?
No, that's fine. I mean, what about everybody else? Is that good?
Okay, all right, so we'll back up here to our title page of Spaceballs, written by Mel Brooks, Thomas Meehan, and Ronnie Graham. Script dated March 24th, 1986. We fade in on a black screen on which the following legend appears. Once upon a time warp, deep in outer space, far beyond the known universe, at the rear end of the Ford galaxy, there lived a ruthless race of men known as music. Powerful opening theme, and the word Spaceballs looms up on the screen in enormous block letters and then slowly recedes in the distance. We cut to the exterior of a star field. For a moment, everything is quiet. Then a low rumble emanates from somewhere in the star field. Above us, at the top of the screen, the nose of a giant Spaceball star cruiser appears. Music, the Spaceball theme, big and menacing. Enter the bad guys. The body of the huge ship fills the screen. Slowly, majestically, it passes overhead. Section after section, it continues to make its way through the frame and continues, and continues, and continues, until we begin to realize that this is the biggest, longest spaceship ever seen in any movie. Finally, we come to the tail of the monster craft. There, beneath 6 colossal jets on the right side of the lower bumper, is a 100-yard sticker that reads, "We break for nobody." As the ship disappears into the stars, the following legend comes up aslant on the screen, a la Star Wars style, and slowly recedes in triangular fashion into the distance. Chapter 11, the Spaceballs grow desperate. The evil leaders of planet Spaceball, having foolishly squandered their precious atmosphere, have devised a secret plan to take every breath of air away from their unsuspecting, peace-loving neighbor, planet Druidia. Today, Princess Vespa of planet Druidia is to be married. Unbeknownst to the princess, but knownst to us, a Spaceball cruiser approaches planet Druidia to capture the princess as she leaves on her honeymoon. As the legend above fades into the starfield, another sentence appears, and it says, "If you can read this, you don't need glasses." Cut to the interior Spaceball cruiser bridge area. Colonel Sanders is at the command rail, flanked by 2 Spaceball lieutenants. A laser gunner, his back to us, is hunched over the gun sight. Behind Sanders are 2 Spaceball guards, positioned on either side of a black carbonite sliding door. The rest of the Spaceball crew is busy at various control stations.
Colonel Sanders, we're approaching planet Druidia.
Good. I'll notify his evil presence immediately.
Sanders picks up a futuristic phone and presses 2 buttons on it.
Sir, we have planet Druidica in sight.
Sanders hangs up the phone and turns to the crew.
He'll be right down. Give me the rear of the ship.
The lieutenant presses 3 buttons and hands the phone to Sanders.
Here you are, sir.
This is Cornell Sanders in forward command. Planet Druidia is in sight. Are the attack vehicles ready? What do you mean the gears are frozen? Oh, yeah. I forgot. It's winter back there. All right, well, do your best.
He hangs up the phone And from the passageway behind the black carbonate sliding door, we hear, "Make way for Dark Helmet! Make way for Dark Helmet!" The ominous music booms forth. Sanders presses a button and speaks quietly into a built-in console microphone.
Cue ominous music.
Ominous music fills the room. Colonel Sanders and the entire Spaceball crew come to attention. They all look fearfully toward the sliding door. We cut to a close-up of the sliding door. It slides open with a great sound of released pressure. Whoosh! Revealed in the doorway is Dark Helmet, a black, shiny helmet 4.5 feet high. Protruding from the bottom of it are 2 little feet wearing black boots. From inside the helmet, we hear the sound of heavy wheezing. A low hum, and Dark Helmet comes toward us on a moving command ramp. His breathing grows louder as he approaches. The music continues. We cut to close-ups of the Spaceball crew's faces. They look terrified. Justifiably so, as we will later discover. Back to scene. Dark Helmet's moving ramp comes to a stop at the command rail. Music out. Dark Helmet wheezes heavily 4 more times inside his helmet. Half a beat. His hand appears, reaches up, and rips off his frighteningly black visor mask, revealing the angry, sweaty little face of Dark Helmet.
Yeah, breathe in this goddamn thing.
He coughs a couple of times.
We're approaching planet Juridica, sir.
Good. I'll call Spaceball City and inform President Scroob immediately.
I've already called him, sir. He knows everything.
You told the president before you told me?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Are you saying that you went over my head?
Well,
Nobody goes over my head.
Dark Helmet pulls down his black visor. The Spaceball crew, fearing his wrath, all move away, leaving the radio operator standing alone.
Sorry, Lord Helmet, it won't happen again. I promise you.
Dark Helmet has quietly taken a black onyx ring with a gold S on it out of his pocket and places it on his right middle finger. The radio operator looks at what he's doing in horror.
No, Lord Helmet, not that! Not that!
Yes, that.
Dark Helmet extends a hand with the ring on it toward the radio operator's crotch. We hear a low, unearthly thrum sound. Dark Helmet turns his extended fingers in a twisting motion, and a thin, pulsating green beam of light emanates from his ring and hits the radio operator squarely in the crotch. The radio operator immediately grabs himself, writhes in pain, and cries out. Dark Helmet flips up his visor.
You think that hurts? The next time you screw up, it's the Nutcracker Suite.
A beat. And then we hear the ominous staccato version of Dance of the Flutes from the Nutcracker Suite. Dark Helmet turns to Sanders.
Sanders?
Yes, sir.
I don't see Planet Druidia. Where is it?
We don't have visual contact yet, sir, but we have it on our radar screens. I'll punch it up for you.
Never mind. I'll do it myself.
He takes 2 quick steps to a section of the command console, reaches up and pushes several buttons on it. Suddenly we hear a series of beeps and a few lights begin to flash. A strange bubbling sound emanates from it.
What's the matter with this thing? What's all that churning and bubbling? You call this a radar screen?
No, sir. We call it the Mr. Coffee.
As he steps away, we see what it really is, a futuristic coffee machine dripping coffee into a radar pot.
This is our radar screen up here.
I knew that.
Of course you did, sir. Lord Helmet's stool.
A footstool is brought to Dark Helmet. He steps on it, and can now reach the real radar screen. Just above the screen, we see the words Mr. Radar. Dark Helmet pushes a few buttons. Immediately, the screen projects a green blip that grows in size and sound with each revolution of the scanner.
Switch to Teleview.
We cut to a close-up of the radar screen, and it switches from a radar screen to a television screen. Instantly, the green blip becomes a beautiful planet with blue skies and fluffy white clouds rotating inside a huge plexiglass air shield. It is planet Druidia.
There it is, planet Druidia. And inside its huge, unbreakable air shield, the 1,000 years of fresh air. 10,000 years of fresh air, soon to be ours.
Back to scene.
Once we capture the princess, we will force her father, King Relnant, to give us the secret combination to the air shields.
Finished with your bald exposition, Colonel?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me get back to mine. What time is the princess getting married?
Within an hour, sir.
He may not be there for the wedding, but we won't miss the honeymoon.
Cut to the exterior Crystal Cathedral front lawn day. Over the entrance of the cathedral, we see the words, First Temple of the Druids. On the lawn in front of the church is a sign reading, Today, Planet Druidia's royal wedding, Princess Vespa to Prince Valium. On a launching pad next to the entrance of the cathedral, we see Princess Vespa's honeymoon coupe, a 2-passenger spaceship with a Mercedes emblem adorning its futuristic hood. The license plate reads, Princess 1. A big recently wed has been gold lettered on the side of the craft. A small ramp leads up to the coupe's entrance. Druidian royal footmen are putting the princess's extensive matched luggage in the trunk. We cut to the interior of Princess Vespa's bedroom day. Dorothy, Dot Matrix, a female droid of human proportions, wearing a droid of honor outfit, is doing last-minute touches on the lace veil of the princess's exquisite wedding gown. Princess Vespa is ravishingly beautiful, young, and spoiled. She stands in front of a mirror as Dot fusses over her.
I can't marry him, Dot. I don't love him. I've tried and I've tried, but I just don't. What'll I do?
Listen, my darling, I'm the droid of honor. I know everything. You are a princess. You have to marry a prince. Unfortunately, Prince Valium is the last prince in the galaxy. Take my advice and do what every princess does. Shut your eyes, grit your teeth, say, I do, and cheat on him.
Why did I have to be born a princess? Why couldn't I have been born a peasant? An incredibly wealthy peasant. Then I'd be free to marry the man of my dreams.
The man of your dreams? You know him? You've seen him?
No, I haven't met him yet. But he's got to be out there. Somewhere.
She gazes longingly out the window and up toward the sky. We wipe to an exterior starfield night. The words somewhere is written across the starfield. Cut to the exterior of Lone Star's spaceship, the Eagle 5. It's a delta-winged, battered, Winnebago-type flying camper covered with a month of space dust. On its side, someone has finger-written, Please wash me. On the cockpit door are the words Eagle 5 and a large painted eagle insignia. Under the screaming eagle, clutching dollar bills in each claw, are the words Captain Lone Star. As the ship passes, we see a tourist sticker on its tail which reads, I love Uranus. Cut to the interior of Eagle 5. The cockpit is empty. We see a light blinking on and off which reads, Automatic Pilot. It's accompanied by a low, intermittent beeping sound. As the camera drifts through the interior of the Winnebago, we begin to hear the sound of light snoring. The Winnebago is revealed to be a disheveled bachelor pad, clothes strewn everywhere, laundry hanging up on a line to dry, a sink full of dirty dishes. The camera has drifted to a bunk bed in the rear of the Eagle 5. In the lower bunk, we see an enormous pile of empty beer cans, at the bottom of which a pair of men's feet are sticking out. As the camera approaches, the snoring grows louder. We hear a strange brushing sound. This becomes a fugue of 3 distinct sounds. Beep, snore, swish, swish. Beep, snore, swish, swish. The strange fugue accelerates in tempo. Then the swish, swish sound is repeated by a large, throaty gargling sound. The snoring immediately stops, and from under the mound of beer cans, a handsome, unkempt head slowly emerges. It is our hero, Lone Star. He has a 2-day growth of beard and is clearly hungover. The sound of gargling grows louder. Lone Star struggles out of the bunk, and as he gets to his feet, the empty beer cans scatter helter-skelter to the floor. He's obviously fallen asleep in his clothes, a space version of a cowboy outfit. Lone Star walks toward the sound, pushes open the slightly ajar door of this Winnebago's mini bathroom, and thereby reveals his sidekick, Barf. Barf is a large, hairy creature, half human, half golden retriever, with a tufted lion-like tail.
Barf! What the hell are you doing?
Barf throws his head back and makes 2 more throaty gargling sounds. He turns around. Barf is holding a large, family-sized bottle of scope.
I'm gargling.
Barf chug-a-lugs the entire bottle of scope as Lone Star watches in disbelief.
What are you gonna have for dessert? A tube of Crest? Did anybody ever tell you you're not supposed to drink that stuff?
Barf finishes the scope, pounds his chest, and lets out a big, satisfied belch.
Hey, what do you want me what do you want from me? I'm an animal. Okay. Breakfast. Hand me the barf bag, will ya?
Lone Star pulls a large canvas sack upon it, which is written in large block letters, Barf. With disdain, he hands it to Barf.
Let's see what I got. Hey, we're in luck. We've still got some spaghetti and chocolate pudding.
Ooh. He pulls out one handful of spaghetti and one of the chocolate puddings, and he begins eating from his hands.
These go good together. Want some?
Oh, not at the moment. Oh, or ever. Oh, where did I get this hangover?
Bark lifts the last remains off of his hands.
Do you not remember? They gave you free drinks when you play blackjack on Vega. Especially if you're a big loser.
Using his tail as a napkin, Barf delicately wipes his face.
Oh? How much did I lose?
How much did you have with you?
I lost it all?
A little more. You signed some markers.
Markers?
Yeah, little you owe them. About 100,000 worth.
Oh, no. Well, maybe we'll get lucky and they'll never find us.
Beep, beep, beep.
Uh-oh.
Lone Star pushes a button on the control panel. Immediately, a large television screen above the windshield lights up. On it, we see the stainless steel face of a gangster droid named Vinny. He's smoking a lighted aluminum cigarette.
Hello, Lone Star.
They found us. Hello, Vinny. What do you want?
It's not what I want. It's what the fat man wants.
The fat man?
Yeah, the fat man. I'm calling for Pizza the Hut.
We hear a scary chord as Lone Star and Barf give each other nervous looks.
Tell him he'll have his 100,000 by next week.
100,000? Pal. You got it a little wrong. When you borrow from Mr. Hut, you gotta add a certain amount of interest. Compounded hourly plus late charges, that comes to...
We hear the clicking of a high-speed calculator coming from somewhere in his head. At the same time, like a white tongue, a roll of digital printout paper emerges from his mouth. It is like a receipt coming out of the top of a cash register.
Exactly...
He rips it off and reads.
1 million space bucks.
$1 million? By next week?
No, by this week. Or else.
Or else?
Or else pizza is gonna send out for you.
We hear a menacing rendition of the Godfather theme as Vinny's face fades from the screen. Lone Star and Barf exchanged looks. We cut to the interior of Crystal Cathedral Day. The huge glass cathedral is filled with the wedding guests, waiting for the ceremony to begin. Standing at the altar, behind which is a large crystal starburst symbol of the Druids' religion, is Prince Valium. We see him from the back. He has a blonde page boy hairdo, as does everyone in his family, all of whom are sitting in the front row. The organist begins playing the wedding march from Lohengrin. Cut to another angle. Princess Vespa and King Roland. They stand at the head of the aisle. Several flower girls go down it strewing flowers. The princess and King Roland start down the aisle. Dot, holding the wedding train, glides behind them on her roller feet. They take 4 steps. Suddenly the princess stops mid-step. The organist looks confused and stops playing. The guest looks puzzledly back over their shoulders.
Daddy, must I go through with this? Do I have to marry him?
I'm sorry, my dear, but you have to.
They resume walking and the organist resumes playing. They take 4 more steps, and again the princess stops. And that's the music.
But Daddy, I don't love him.
Of course you don't. Nobody loves Prince Valhan. He's a pill.
Cut to a close-up of Prince Valium. He turns his head toward the approaching princess and with sleepy, half-closed eyes begin to give her a big, sappy smile, which turns into a huge yawn. We cut to the princess's POV. The camera tracks slowly down the aisle. The minister is standing at the altar. He's a pleasant, bald-headed man wearing rimless spectacles and a high priest space robe with Joan Crawford shoulders. Prince Valium stands just below him. We cut to a close-up of Princess Vespa's face. It tells us everything. We cut to another angle, Princess Vespa and King Roland. As they approach the altar, the music stops. The king steps aside and Princess Vespa continues walking down the aisle to the altar with Dot carefully holding her train above the ground. The minister begins the ceremony even before the princess has come to a stop.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here together on this joyous occasion to witness.
He watches in disbelief as the princess continues to walk and goes right past Prince Valium and the altar. Suddenly she breaks into a run. Dot, still holding her train, is now being pulled on her rollers like a water skier. The minister turns in dismay as he continues speaking.
Princess Vespa going right past the altar, running out the back door, leaving all of us dumbfounded, especially poor Prince Valium standing there grinning like an idiot. Amen.
Amen.
Stop! Stop her! Someone stop her!
We cut to the exterior of the cathedral day. The princess, with Dot in tow, is running toward the honeymoon coupe. They go flying up the ramp that leads up to the coupe's open door. Wait a minute! Didn't we forget somebody? As soon as they enter the honeymoon coupe, the ramp comes up and closes like a door of a plane. There are shouts from the wedding guests as the engine starts and twin bursts of flame and white smoke emanate from the rear of the coupe. Come back! Stop!
No!
Stop! Stop! The coupe slowly tilts heavenward into its launching pad. We cut to another angle. The wedding guests, led by King Roland, Prince Valium, his family, and the minister, are all running toward the honeymoon coupe. With a tremendous, deafening roar, it rockets straight up. And the camera moves in toward a small group of people surrounding Prince Valium. King Roland is beside him. The prince looks up in the sky and sees the honeymoon coupe disappearing.
Vespa, I love you. Come, babe.
He yawns. King Roland gets... The yawn shakes him into reality.
Ah!
And on to the next line.
This never happened to me before. I'm not sure I know what to feel. How about you feel humiliated?
We cut to our next narrator.
All right. Exterior starfield. Looking down from the starfield, we see planet Druidia enclosed in a transparent air shield. Outside of it is space black. In the distance, approaching the air shield from within, is the honeymoon coupe. Cut to. Close-up air shield. A small section of it slides open with a hiss to allow the honeymoon coupe to exit into space. After the coupe goes through, it slides shut again. Cut to long shot honeymoon coupe. A bright dot in the sky making its way through the heavens. Cut to new angle, Starfield. The bow of the Spaceball Star Cruiser is coming into frame as the cruiser moves majestically through the dark void, tracking the honeymoon coupe. Cut to interior Spaceball Cruiser bridge area. Colonel Sanders is looking at the telescreen. He turns to the radio speaker.
The princess has just passed through the air shield. Notify President Scoop in Spaceball City.
Yes, sir. Could somebody else notify him?
Oh, yes. I forgot. We'll let Lord Helmet tell him.
Thank you, sir. Cut to exterior Spaceball City day. Camera moves in on Spaceball City. It consists of different sized ping-pong ball-like white globular buildings looming above the rocky moonscape terrain. The city resembles a molecular model of DNA gone wrong. Camera slowly moves in on one of the ping-pong ball buildings. Cut to interior President Scrooge's office day. Medium shot President Scrooge at his desk. President Scrooge is a handsome, funny-looking fellow in his nearly 50s with stainless steel hair, mustache, and eyebrows.
Now, live from the elliptical office in Spaceball City, President Scrooge is about to deliver a special address. But first, here on the Goodwill Tour from Planet Moron, the voices of the world-famous Moron Blabbernackle Choir singing Hail to the Chief.
Camera pulls back to reveal the Moron Blabbernackle Choir. They're all wearing ludicrously oversized robes. Their leader steps out and conducts them.
Dum dum da dum dum da dum da dum da dum dum.
Cut to close-up President Scrooge. He winces in pain at their sensationally wrong rendition of the song. Back to scene. After the choir finishes, President Scrooge throws them a disgusted look and begins his address. Camera slowly moves into tight shot of Scrooge.
My fellow Spaceballs, I am here to assure you that there is absolutely no truth to the vicious rumor that our beloved planet Spaceball is running out of air.
He dips down and secretively sucks air through a straw from a green can labeled Perrier. As Scrooge continues projected on a screen behind him, we see a planet covered with forests, rivers, and lakes. Across the bottom it reads, "Then the stupid old days." As the speech goes on, it disappears and is replaced by a planet that is covered with highways, shopping malls, parking lots, and a noxious yellow layer of smog. The shopping malls have names like Scrooge Mart and Scrooge City and Scrooge Haven Mall, etc. Across the bottom it reads, "Now, the glorious nowadays."
Moreover, it is foolish to assume that just because this president had the chutzpah to level the forests and drain the rivers that this could in any way affect our natural environment. On the contrary, there is no air shortage problem whatsoever, and we are working day and night to solve it. I thank you. Let them figure that one out.
The morons start singing again.
Dum dum da dum dum da dum da dum da dum dum.
The lights dim. The TV stage manager steps in wearing headphones. "We're off the air, Mr. President."
We are? Then get these goddamn morons out of here.
Two big muscular Spaceball troopers hurry in and quickly herd off the bewildered morons.
Duh, we were supposed to sing Duh Whiff and Poof song.
Out! Out! Out!
The moron choir is herded off. President Scrooge's interior office telescreen lights up. We see a beautiful young Spaceball female in military uniform. She is Commanderette Zircon.
This is Central Control. Spaceball Commanderette Zircon speaking, sir.
She gives the Spaceball's presidential salute. It is the traditional Italian fungool gesture, only the clenched fist is changed to an open hand, palm forward. The left hand hits the right bicep with a smart slap. Whap! Scrooge returns the salute.
What is this, Commanderette?
Lord Helmet has just notified us that Princess Vespa is in sight and Spaceball 1 is closing in on her.
Good.
We have both ships coming up on the Teledar, sir, if you wish to observe.
Yes, I'll be right there.
Shall I have Scotty beam you down, sir?
I don't know about this beaming stuff. Is it safe?
Oh, yes, sir. Scotty beamed me twice last night. It was wonderful.
She looks off screen at someone we assume is Scotty and gives him a warm smile.
Okay, I'll try it.
Scrooge stands up and turns and steps onto a little circular platform next to his desk. He opens the sliding door of a plexiglass cylinder and goes inside. Cut to another angle. We see Commodore Zircon on the telescreen as she turns to Scotty, who wears a spaceball uniform of a bold tartan material.
Beam him down, Scotty.
Yes, sir, Commanderette. Thanks for last night.
All right, do it. Do it.
Cut to close-up cylinder. A ray of green light comes down from the top of the cylinder, accompanied by a huge electronic hum. The light envelops Scrooge. He begins to disappear, starting at the top of his head, ending down at his feet. In a few seconds, he has completely vanished. Cut to Interior Spaceball Control Center day. It is a maze of radar screens, panels, lights, maps, computer terminals, mostly rented from the discount prop shops all over West Hollywood. There are several Spaceball technicians seated at various consoles. Zircon and Scotty and another technician stand beside a cylinder exactly like the one in Scrooge's office. For a moment, it is empty. A hum. The green ray of light suffuses the cylinder and starts from the feet up. Scrooge is reconstituted perfectly, except for one major thing. His head is on backwards.
Oh my god, what happened to his head?
It's on backwards, you space holes.
I'm sorry, sir.
Well, do something. This is terrible. Why didn't anybody ever tell me my ass was so big?
Hold still, sir. We're going to reverse the beam.
Scotty hits a lever, a hum. The green light comes down from the top of the cylinder, and once again Scrooge disappears from top to bottom. Cut to Interior Scrooge's office day. Scrooge inside the cylinder is reconstituted correctly. He opens the door and emerges from the cylinder. Zircon and Scotty are smiling from the telescreen.
Are you all right, Mr. President?
Fine, fine. No thanks to you.
We'll beam you back, sir. This time we'll get it right.
Forget it. I'll walk.
He goes to the door of his office, opens it, and enters Spaceball Control Center, which we discover was right next door all the time. Cut to Interior Spaceballs Control Center day. Scrooge enters.
Where's the princess?
President Scrooge.
Everyone stands and salutes him.
Right there, sir.
Oh, sorry.
Right there, sir. On the left side of the screen. Approaching Spaceball 1 at 1,500 light leaks per minute.
Camera passes to the teledor. It is a futuristic combination of a radar screen and a television. The Princess Honeymoon Coupe is on the left side of the screen, moving towards the Spaceball Cruiser on the right.
Ah, good. Closing in.
Camera moves into the picture on the teledar. Dissolved through to exterior starfield. The huge Spaceball Cruiser moves slowly through space on a course to intercept the Honeymoon Coupe. Cut to Interior Honeymoon Coupe. The princess is at the controls. She's removed her wedding veil and her hairstyle, two particularly large braided buns covering her ears. Reminds of us another princess long ago in a galaxy far, far away. Dot sits in a seat beside her.
Congratulations. You're the first woman in history to go on a honeymoon without getting married. Can you hear me?
Dot peers around into the princess's face.
Take off that Walkman.
The princess realizes Dot is talking to her. She removes the two huge buns from her ears, revealing that they're headphones to a fancy Walkman. Music is blaring out of them.
What?
Never mind. What are you listening to?
Duran Duran, Duran Duran, Duran Duran. They're all wonderful.
Cut to exterior Starfield. The huge spaceball cruiser is now even closer to the honeymoon coop. Interior spaceball cruiser bridge area.
Princess Vespa spaceship within firing range, sir.
Good. Let's get her attention. Fire a warning shot across her nose.
The laser gunner fires. Cut to interior honeymoon coop. The ship rocks violently as gun flashes light up the sky.
What's going on?
I don't know. I'll take a look through the star roof.
Dot presses a button and the star roof slides back above her head. Her head turns 180 degrees and rises up through the roof like a periscope. Bang! A laser beam whizzes by. She immediately reverses the process and returns to the cockpit.
What is it?
It's the biggest goddamn spaceship in the universe.
Another laser explosion very nearby rocks the ship again. Bang!
And it hates us.
I don't have to put up with this. I'm rich.
She reaches towards the dashboard and picks up a princess phone as another laser explosion flashes outside the windscreen.
What are you doing?
I'm going to call my father.
Cut to exterior honeymoon coop. Another explosion, really close this time, rocks the honeymoon coop. Cut to interior spaceball cruiser bridge area.
Careful, you fool. I said across her nose, not up it.
The laser gunner turns around. He is totally cross-eyed.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. I'm doing my best.
Who made that man a gunner?
Cross-eyed lieutenant turns to Dark Helmet.
I did, sir. He's my cousin.
Dark Helmet shakes his head in disbelief.
Who cast this picture?
Cut to interior honeymoon coop.
And hurry, Daddy, hurry! There are laser blasts all around us. It's terrible.
Cut to exterior Starfield. We see Eagle 5 flying through space. Cut to interior Eagle 5. Lone Star and Barf are in the cockpit. On the telescreen, we see a distraught face of King Roland.
Lone Star, you got to help me. Please save my daughter from Spaceballs.
Spaceballs? Forget it. Too dangerous.
Please bring her back to me. You're the only one who can do it. I pay you anything. Do you hear me? Anything.
Anything? Okay. All right. We'll do it for 1 million space bucks.
A million? I said anything, not a million.
This man is suffering from divided loyalties. 1 million, take it or leave it.
I'll take it. I'll take it. Only find her, save her. You got it, King. We'll do our best.
Barf clicks off the telescreen. Lone Star turns to Barf. Okay, Furball, let's go find our $1 million princess. Lone Star and Barf give each other their thumbs up tally-ho gesture. Lone Star grabs the booster throttle and pushes it forward. Cut to.
We cut to our next narrator, I believe. I'm not sure who that is. That's perfect.
It's me. Yeah. Cut to interior spaceball cruiser bridge area. Dark Helmet is speaking into a microphone. Lord Helmet to Princess Vespa. This is an Imperious spaceball cruiser. You are our prisoner. Cut your engines and surrender. Acknowledge at once. With a smug, self-satisfied look on his face, Dark Helmet steps up on the command podium and looks out the windscreen.
Princess Vespa to Lord Helmet. Up yours.
Dark Helmet falls off the podium. Close up on Sanders. He is looking out the windscreen through binoculars.
She's trying to get away, sir.
Back to the scene, Dark Helmet is picking himself up off the floor. Why, that dirty little... She won't get far. Activate the light net. Music. Uh-oh, here comes the light net.
Activate the light net.
The light net operator...
Sorry, go ahead.
The light net operator is seated at a console, which reads Light Net Control. He extends his hands in front of him and thumbs two buttons.
Light net activated.
Cut to the exterior spaceball cruiser. 4 large, glowing chromium balls are fired out of the nose of the cruiser. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. They each leave a thin trail of light behind them as they fly through the air and then explode one by one all around the honeymoon coop. As each ball explodes, it sends out lines of white light that quickly interweave with each other to form a light net, which surrounds and entraps the honeymoon coop. Cut to the interior of the honeymoon coop with Princess and Dot's point of view of the crisscrossing of the light lines. Back to scene.
What's happening? We're not moving.
Wrong. We are moving. Backwards.
Cut to the exterior of Eagle 5. Eagle 5 comes toward the camera at a high speed. And we cut to the interior, Lone Star's and Barf's point of view. The honeymoon coop, entrapped in the light net, is being slowly reeled toward the mammoth open jaws of the giant cruiser.
There's our princess.
Oh, Spaceballs. They got her in the light net. We better hurry.
Okay, moving in. Full throttle.
Cut to the reverse two-shot of Barf and Lone Star. Barf grabs the twin throttles, begins to move them forward, and stops.
Wait a minute. Why are we risking our lives for a runaway princess? I know we need the money, but...
Barf, listen. We're not just doing this for the money. We're doing this for a lot of money.
Oh, that's different. I thought we were just doing it for the money. We have to save her.
So now we've got to sneak in there without being spotted. Jam the radar.
Good idea. Radar about to be jammed.
He pulls down a small periscope, sights through it, and pushes a button on its handle, firing on the word jammed. Cut to the exterior of Spaceballs cruiser. We see a section of the top of the ship with its radar dish slowly revolving. Suddenly, a canister comes hurtling toward it and explodes. Bang! Splattering it with a dark, wet, thick gook. Blech! The radar dish slows down and stops turning. Cut to the interior, Spaceball cruiser bridge area. The radar operator takes his earphones off. They are covered with dark, wet, thick gook.
Sir, I have a problem.
What is it?
The radar, sir, it seems to be jammed.
Jammed. Raspberry. There's only one man who dare give me the raspberry. Lone Star. He's somewhere nearby. We cut to the exterior of Starfield. The light net carrying the honeymoon coop is now directly under the prow of the Spaceball cruiser. It is completely hidden from the view of the Spaceball crew. Eagle 5 silently glides into frame and hovers above the trapped honeymoon coop.
It's in position. Magnets on.
Magnet on. We're lined up and locked in on the coop.
A hatch door opens in the bottom of Eagle 5, and a transparent, lucite rope ladder drops down from it. Barf comes down the ladder and lands on the roof of the honeymoon coop. Boom! Cut to the interior honeymoon coop.
What was that?
There's a knock on the roof.
Never mind that. What was that?
The star roof slides open and Barf leans in.
Hi.
Princess and Dot both jump back.
Ah!
Who are you?
Barf.
Not in here, please.
No, that's my name.
What are you?
I'm a schmooky. Half man, half dog. I'm my own best friend.
He licks his own paw.
Your father hired me, Captain Lone Star, or hired Captain Lone Star and me to save you. Come on.
Well, thank God. Let's go.
Yes. Wait, my luggage.
Luggage? There is no time for luggage.
I don't go anywhere without a lot of luggage.
Barf looks at her in disbelief, and we cut to exterior Starfield. The princess and Dot are climbing up the lucite ladder toward Eagle 5. Barf brings up the rear with the princess's luggage, the handle of one suitcase in his mouth, a trunk on his back, tote bags hanging from his shoulders, two suitcases under each arm, and finally a hat box gripped by his tail. We cut to the interior of Eagle 5 rear quarters. The princess and Dot are in a curtained-off area at the back of the Winnebago. They look around disdainfully at the chaotic mess. Barf is emerging through the hatch, loaded down with luggage. Cut to the interior of Eagle 5 cockpit. Noise of Barf banging luggage. Lone Star hears it and turns around. Cut to Lone Star's point of view. Barf is emerging through the curtain, laden down with luggage. Back to scene.
Checking in? What the hell is all that?
Her Highness luggage.
Luggage? What does she think this is? A princess cruise?
She wouldn't go without it.
Oh, yeah? Huh. Now hear this. The minute we get out of here, the first thing we do is...
Cut to the interior of Eagle 5 rear headquarters. Lone Star is heard over the intercom.
Dump the royal luggage.
Now you hear this. You will not touch that luggage. And furthermore, I want this pigsty cleaned up. I will not be rescued in such filth.
Listen, your spoiled highness. On this ship, I don't take orders. I give them.
How dare you speak to me that way? You will address me with the proper respect. I happen to be Princess Vespa, daughter of Roland, king of the Druids.
Cut to the interior of Eagle 5 cockpit.
I should have known. A Druish princess.
Funny, she doesn't look Druish.
Cut to the exterior starfield. Eagle 5 disengages itself and glides away just as the Spaceball cruiser's hangar doors open and the light net draws in the honeymoon coop. As it disappears inside, the hangar doors begin to close. We cut to interior Spaceball cruiser forward launching area. The doors now completely closed. Away from the door is a slightly raised command area. On it are Dark Helmet, Sanders, and a few Spaceball lieutenants. They are watching the light net reeling in the honeymoon coop. The still glowing light net emits a low-level humming sound.
Light net off.
The light net disappears and the humming sound stops. A squad of Spaceball troopers come trotting in on the double. They quickly surround the honeymoon coop, their laser rifles at the ready. Their leader pulls down the door/ramp of the coop and prepares to enter. Hold it! I'll handle this personally. The troop leader steps aside.
Jawal, Lord Helmet.
Now we'll show her who's running this galaxy. He slams down his visor mask and strides into the honeymoon coop, breathing asthmatically. Once off screen inside the honeymoon coop, he talks through his visor mask. So, Princess Vespa, you thought you could outwit the imperious forces of planet Spaceball. Well, you were wrong. You are now our prisoner, and you will be held hostage until such time as all the air from your planet is transferred to planet Spaceball. There is a moment of silence. Dark Helmet reemerges from the honeymoon coop. She's not there.
Did you check the...
I checked the toilet. She's not there. What happened? We had her. She was our prisoner. Where is she? Where did she go? Voiceover from the bridge. Radar operator?
I think it's still listed as Judy.
Oh. Radar's repaired, sir, and we're picking up the outline of a Winnebago? Winnebago? Lone Star, my lifelong nemesis. Adversary. To the bridge. We cut to the exterior starfield. We see the Winnebago getting further away. Cut to the interior Spaceball cruiser bridge area. Dark Helmet and Sanders bustle in and go straight to the radar screen. Where is it?
15 light leagues away and increasing speed.
Not to worry, sir. We'll catch up to them in no time. Sanders to flight command. Go to attack speed.
The noise level grows louder as the Spaceball cruiser surges forward.
They'll be ours in less than a minute.
Dark Helmet moans longingly.
Sir?
Oh, Lone Star, I can't wait to make him dead. Interior Eagle 5 cockpit area. An enormous blip appears on Lone Star's radar screen. Music, a kind of radar-like Jaws theme.
Oh no. Here comes the bad yard blimp.
We gotta get out of here and in a hurry.
Switch to hyperjets.
Hyperjets? We'll use up the rest of the fuel before we reach Jurica.
Well, what would you like us to use up first, our fuel or our lives?
Okay, you're the captain.
Buckle up back there. We're going into hyperactive.
Cut to Interior Eagle 5 rear headquarters. The princess has taken off her wedding veil and is spraying the area with an aerosol can labeled Royal Smell. Dot is putting old socks and assorted debris into a corner.
We're going into what?
Never mind. Just sit down and buckle up.
Who do you think you're talking to? I'll have you know.
Loud click. She realizes Lone Star has clicked off the intercom.
Never in my life have I hated anybody so much that I didn't even know.
She fastens her seatbelt. We cut to the exterior rear of Eagle 5. On each side of Eagle 5, we see huge, round taillights, which revolve out of sight, revealing two big, ugly, but extraordinary powerful hyperjets. They rev up with a menacing rumble. We cut to the interior of Spaceball cruiser bridge area. The LightNet operator is at his console.
We're within the LightNet range, sir.
Very good. Activate on 3.
Yes, sir.
Cut to the exterior rear of Eagle 5. The hyperjets erupt like two giant flame wafers. Here, we hear a huge sonic boom as Eagle 5 blasts off. Cut to the interior of Eagle 5 cockpit. Lone Star's and Barf's point of view through the windscreen. The sky full of stars becomes stripes of light as they whiz by. Cut to the interior of Eagle 5 rear headquarters. The princess and Dot are buckled in, holding on for dear life, and looking at each other wide-eyed like two kids on the first big dip of a roller coaster.
Whoa!
Cut to the exterior starfield. In less than a second, Eagle 5 rockets into the starfield and disappears. Cut to the interior Spaceball cruiser bridge area.
1, 2, late. They're gone. They must have hyperjets on those things.
After them! Catch them! Catch them!
Yes, sir. Prepare for light speed.
No! Light speed is too slow. We're going to have to go to ludicrous speed. Music sting. In the background, we hear the Spaceball crew murmuring to one another, ludicrous speed.
Ludicrous speed? We've never gone that fast, sir. I don't know if the ship can take it.
What's the matter, Colonel Sanders? Chicken? Sanders, stung, gives Dark Helmet a look.
Half ship for ludicrous speed. Fasten all seatbelts.
Everyone immediately fastens his seatbelt.
Seal all exits and entrances and exits. Close all shops in the mall. Secure all animals in the zoo.
Give me that, you sissy wimp. Sanders shakes his head knowingly and fastens his seatbelt. Now hear this.
Sir, haven't you better fasten your...
Ludicrous speed. Go! Music, Spaceball theme, driving, ominous. With a tremendous roar, the Spaceball cruiser goes into ludicrous speed. The roar becomes a high-pitched scream. During the following, Cut to a close-up of cruiser control panel. On the control panel above the windscreen, camera moves to first panel. A flashing green light reads light speed. Camera moves over to a second panel. A flashing yellow light reads ridiculous speed. Camera moves over to the third panel. A flashing red light reads ludicrous speed. A warning klaxon goes off and continues intermittently. Back to scene. As the Spaceball cruiser hits ludicrous speed, it begins to vibrate violently. The sounds of a higher and higher sonic scream. We cut to close-ups of crew members' faces, fast intercuts. The entire Spaceballs crew's faces are flattened by the G-pole. Cut to a close-up of Dark Helmet. Dark Helmet's helmet streams out behind him, connected to his little body by black suspenders. He is revealed in all his glory wearing an old-fashioned undershirt, blue striped boxer shorts, and black socks with garters. Cut to the interior, Eagle 5 cockpit, Lone Star and Barf's point of view. Stripes of light continue to whiz by. Suddenly, an ominous roar from above and behind them fills the air. Cut to the opposite angle, Lone Star and Barf look up and back. They quickly swivel their heads forward in time with the sound as it passes over them.
What the hell was that?
Spaceball 1.
The noise of Spaceball 1 diminishes in the distance.
Do you think they stopped us?
Who knows? Anyway, they're going so fast, it'll take them 2 weeks to stop and turn around.
Cut to the interior Spaceball cruiser bridge area. It's continuing to fly at ludicrous speed. You fools! We just passed them! Stop!
We can't stop. It's too dangerous. We got to slow down first.
Bullshit! Stop! Shaking his head, Sanders reluctantly pushes a double-handed lever that flashes red emergency stop. An ear-shattering air brake emanates from the bowels of the giant Spaceball star cruiser. The huge ship stops on a quarter. The quick stop of the spaceship causes Dark Helmet's helmet to envelop him again and slam him into the command rail. Bang! He bounces back into the entrance rotunda. Clang! Then forward again into the command rail. Bong! Where he comes to a bone-jarring stop. He is a shell of his former self.
We stopped, sir.
Yes.
We do know, sir.
Why don't we take a 5-minute break? Smoke him if you got him. Suddenly, he keels over, helmet and all, into a dead faint. Clunk. And we cut to the interior of Eagle 5 cockpit. Lone Star's and Barf's point of view. We see the white stripes of light. Then we see Lone Star's hand beginning to pull the throttle back.
Coming out of hyperactive.
As the ship slows down, the stripes of white light gradually become single stars once again, and we hear the sound of the decrease to normal flying hum. Cut to the opposite angle, Lone Star and Barf.
Congratulations, boss. You did it.
Thanks, Barfus. Set a course for Druidia.
Ship has begun to jerk spasmodically, accompanied by strange noises like a car running out of gas.
Uh-oh. We're out of gas. Now what do we do?
Make an emergency landing. Quick, give me a reading.
Our Father, who art in heaven.
Stop that. Keep your seatbelts fastened back there. You okay, princess?
No, you idiot! Where did you learn to fly? We've been...
Click.
Click.
Lone Star turns off the intercom.
Jets off, rockets reversed, gear down. Eagle 5 coming in.
We're going in. Brace yourself.
They begin to make a very bouncy landing on rough desert terrain. We cut to the interior Eagle 5 rear quarters. Despite their seatbelts, the princess and Dot are being shaken, rattled, and rolled. The princess is somewhere between fury and fear. We cut to the interior Eagle 5 cockpit. Lone Star and Barf fight to control the wild, bucking bronco of the crash landing spaceship. Boulders loom up and are narrowly missed. Finally, Eagle 5 lurches to a jarring stop.
The Eagle has landed.
Cut to the interior of Eagle 5 rear headquarters. The princess unbuckles her seatbelt, pulls herself together, and heads for the curtain leading to the cockpit.
Where are you going?
I'm gonna tell him off once and for all.
Wait a minute. We might need him to get out of here. Besides, he's got a sexy voice. He could be cute.
Cute? I know these space bums. They're all alike. Fat, ugly, beer-swelling pigs.
Called me an idiot. I'm going back there, and I'm going to tell her a piece of my mind.
Hold it. Wait. You see what she looks like.
I know what she looks like. If you've seen one princess, you've seen them all. Bucktooth, knock-kneed, horse-faced space dogs.
Lone Star walks furiously to the curtained-off rear quarters. Just as he's about to open the curtain, it's yanked back by the princess.
Now listen, you...
She stops in mid-speech, obviously stunned by his rugged good looks. Cut to the princess's point of view. Lone Star starts to say something. His jaw drops, his breath literally taken away by her beauty. We're back to the scene. For a second, they are both speechless. Lone Star recovers first.
And furthermore, on this ship, you are to refer to me as captain, not you idiot.
And you are not to call me you. You will address me as your Royal Highness.
I'll tell you what you are. You are a royal pain in the...
Hold it. Time.
What?
May I have a small suggestion?
They look at him.
Why didn't we vacate the area before the Spaceballs come back and clobber us?
The schmucky's right. Let's get out of here.
That's smooky.
Come on, let's go.
Wait, my things.
Take only what you need to survive.
And we cut to the exterior moons of Vega Day. We see the barren, God-forsaken looking terrain, not unlike the back lot of the Burbank Studios. The princess and Dot come into frame. The princess is carrying a tote bag and a small hat box. Dot is pulling an airline stewardess-type luggage hauler, upon which rest two large matching suitcases, which in turn match the princess's designer tote bag. Pulling up the rear and entering the frame, we see Lone Star and Barf struggling to carry a huge steamer trunk. The luggage and the trunk have little PV insignias embossed all over them. The princess trips and almost falls.
Oik vault. Whatever that means.
They continue on, starting up an incline.
What the hell is in this thing? It weighs a ton.
They put the trunk down and Lone Star opens it up. He takes out the world's largest blow dryer in the world.
What's this? I said only take what you need to survive.
It's my industrial strength hair dryer, and I can't live without it.
Okay, princess, that's it. The fairy tale's over. Welcome to the real life. You want this hot air machine? You carry it.
Listen, you peasant, my father is paying you a lot of money. You pick that up.
Well, what we've got here, look at her, those flashing eyes, those flushed cheeks, those trembling lips. You know something, princess? You're ugly when you're angry.
That's it. You and your animal are fired.
Cut to a close-up of Barf. He takes umbrage at the word animal and growls.
That's fine with me. Okay, princess, you're on your own. Come on, animal.
Lone Star and Barf turn around and march over to the crest of a ridge. Dot, worried, looks at the princess. What good did that do? Now we're stranded out here.
Don't worry, he'll be back. He's madly in love.
Dot looks at her quizzically.
With the money. The money!
Quick cut to an angle on the other side of the ridge. Music, ominous. We see a flat area of sandstone, lichen, and moss. Right before our eyes, it opens up, revealing a bubbling, oozing mass of volcanic mud. It emits mysterious, burbling sounds. As our heroes approach, the lichen and moss closes, unseen by them, and the ominous music fades out. Medium two-shot. Lone Star and Barf enter the frame and start walking across the flat area.
The money. The money. A million space bucks.
Don't worry. We won't lose it. She needs us a lot more than we need her. Remember, a Jewish princess needs a staff of servants just to change her mind.
Of course. You're right. Any minute now, she'll be screaming her silly head off for our help.
Barf suddenly screams and disappears down out at the bottom of the frame.
Help! Help! Help!
Another angle, the moss is opened up again and Barf is sinking quickly into the quagmire.
Barf! Give me your hand, quick!
Barf grabs Lone Star's arm. Slowly but surely, Lone Star starts to pull Barf out. Suddenly, music. A pair of mud arms with twig-like fingers reaches out of the ooze, clutches Barf around the thighs, and begins to pull him back down. Barf, with his enormous strength, breaks the grip of the encircled mud arms, only to have new ones immediately spring out of the mud and grab him. There are too many for him to overcome. He is pulled down, his hand wrenched out of Lone Star's by the overpowering tenacity of the mudmen.
Oh, mudmen! Here, grab this!
With a tremendous heave, he pulls on the branch, which suddenly turns into the arm of a huge mudman who springs from the muck with a hideous gurgling roar, mud spewing wildly from his mouth, his bestial face inches from Lone Star's. A scream of horror escapes from Lone Star's lips. The mudman quickly encircles Lone Star's neck with his huge muddy arm. Barf manages to work his way toward Lone Star in a last courageous effort to save his boss's life. Lone Star viciously sinks his teeth into the mudman's arm and spits out a mouthful of mud. But the arm quickly reseals itself with fresh mud. Once again, Barf begins to sink, drawn down by unseen mudmen.
Lone Star, I just want you to know it was really nice working with you.
Don't give up, Barf! Don't give up!
Barf struggles, but to no avail. His head sinks below the surface.
Barf! Barf!
Barf's head surfaces.
What, boss? What?
Barf takes a gulp of air as he pulled down again.
Barf!
Suddenly we hear heroic music. Then we hear the giant hum of a powerful motor, followed by the roar of hot wind. Lone Star and the mudmen both whip their heads around in the direction of the sound. We cut to the angle of the rim of the ridge, and there, poised on the edge of the quagmire, stands Princess Vespa, holding her industrial strength hairdryer like a flamethrower. She blasts the mudmen with fierce gusts of hot air. She then concentrates on the mudman that is choking the life out of Lone Star. We cut to a close-up of the mudman, his eyes widen in terror as he realizes he's being attacked by his greatest enemy, hot, dry air. Slowly but inexorably he begins to dry, and his color changes from wet, black mud flesh to sand, gray, dried clay. As he rapidly dries, pieces of him begin to fall off. We cut to a close-up of the mudman. The arm begins to cake and crumble. Lone Star breaks free. Cut to a close-up of Lone Star. He gulps a deep breath of air, sighing with relief. And then he sees something.
Look out!
Cut to Lone Star's POV. A huge mudman reaches up toward the princess, and she swings around to face it. Cut to the princess's point of view. a hideous, snarling mudman. Cut back to the princess, and she aims her hair dryer at the mudman.
Oh, dry up!
Cut to the angle of the mudman, who instantly cracks and falls apart with an agonizing, dry scream. Cut to another angle of the quagmire.
Barf! Barf!
Where?
Down there!
Lone Star is pointing to the middle of the quagmire. The princess aims her hair dryer right at the center. It dries up immediately, causing the mudmen to choke, writhe, and scream in pain and protest as they dry, cake, and crumble to pieces. They look not unlike a colony of mud lepers, losing parts of themselves in quick succession. Lone Star looks around desperately for Barf.
Barf! Barf!
A huge cake of mud breaks loose from the dried up quagmire and surfaces. An arm comes out of the cake and hits the block of mud where the face would be. The mud drops away, revealing Barf's embedded face.
Hi, chef.
Lone Star turns to the princess.
That was pretty good for a princess. I owe you one.
You don't owe me anything. We're even.
Oh. Well, it's going to be dark soon. We better find a place to make camp for the night.
We cut to, our next narrator, which would be Jackson.
Interior Spaceball Cruiser Bridge area. Technicians in the background are repairing the damage that was caused by going into ludicrous speed and stopping so abruptly.
Attention, there are still tickets left for the Klingling Brothers Circus, which will be touring the ship from May to December.
Two technicians are knocking the dents out of the Dark Helmet's helmet with him in it. Boing, boing, boing. Dark Helmet reacts.
Any sign of them yet? No, Lord Helmet, they're still nowhere on the scanner. Keep looking.
Wait a minute, sir. I have an idea. Do we have the video cast of the Spaceball, the movie?
I'll look, sir.
He opened a sliding door panel to reveal a wall of video cassettes.
Wait a minute. There can't be a cassette of Spaceballs yet. We're right in the middle of making it.
That's true, sir, but there has been breakthrough in home video marketing.
What breakthrough?
Instant cassettes. They're out before the movie is finished.
Wow, that's incredible. What'll they think of next?
The video technician reaches for the Spaceballs, the movie, from the shelf filled with cassettes of Mel Brooks movies.
Here it is, sir.
He clicked the cassette into the VCR. Close-up video screen. We see FBI warning, studio logos, and fanfare. And then the beginning of the movie, the legend, Once Upon a Time Wrap.
No. It's much later. Go forward.
We see snow and hear a whooshing static sound.
Try now. Quick search.
We see and hear a movie very sped up. In less than 10 seconds, we see the entire ludicrous speed sequence, ending at Dark Helmet falls over and moans. Back to scene. Dark Helmet and Sanders are watching the screen. The video technician is seated at the VCR.
No. Keep going. It's after that.
Close-up video screen. Once again, the TV screen where see snow and hear whooshy static.
Stop. Look there.
The video cassette goes to the normal speed, and what we see or the TV screen is the same scene we're watching on the movie screen. Back to scene. Doc Helmet stares, puzzled, at the TV screen. He comes closer to the TV image, which in turn moves closer to him until they're almost nose to nose. Note, during the following conversations, everybody's voices are doubled. Real people and images say the same thing at the same time.
What's going on? What the hell am I looking at? When does this happen in the movie?
Now, you're looking at it, sir. Everything that is happening is now.
Now? What happened to then?
We're past then and at now.
Then go back to then.
Now.
Not now, then.
Then when?
Now!
The video technician presses a button on the video cassette, goes into rewind for a short bit.
Stop.
Close up video screen. The tape stops at the point where we see the moon of Vega, right before the princess and Dot enter with the luggage. A moment later, they enter the frame, and we can see the princess, Dot, Lone Star, and Barf, all carrying luggage. There they are. They're on moon of Vega.
Good work, Sanders. Set a course for the moons of Vega. What's our ETA?
We'll be there tomorrow at high noon. Music, a brushstroke of symphonies. High noon. Cut to exit. Exterior. Interior. Moon at Vega. Campsite. Night. Our heroes have made camp on the high, flat-top dune, from which they can see the deserts below. Lone Star is looking up at the night sky. Barf is sleeping by his side on a huge rubber donut that reads on its side, inflatable doggy bed. Barf is having a doggy dream. Cut to close-up Lone Star. He looks out over at Dot and the princess. Cut to Lone Star's POV. We see Dot asleep. And a little orange sign on her shoulder flicks on and off and reads sleep mode. Dot emits a slight electric snore. Beep, bleep, beep, bleep. A short distance away, the princess is sitting on the boulder, looking up at the night sky. She shivers and rubs her arms to get warm. Back to scene. Lone Star goes over, takes off his flight jacket, and places it on her shoulders.
Thanks. It's freezing.
Suddenly, they are bathed in white night light. Cut to Lone Star and the princess peel the night sky. We see the full moon quickly rise, and then another moon, and another, and another. The 4 full moons brightly light up the night sky.
Don't look now, but I think we're being mooned.
Wow, 4 full moons.
Lucky I'm not romantic.
They both glaze up at the sky.
I can't seem to find Druidia.
Right up there. That bright blue one. See?
Oh, yes. It looks so small. It's so far away.
After a beat,
Don't worry. I'll get you there.
Which one is yours?
Who knows?
You don't know where you're from?
Not really. I was left on the doorstep of some monastery.
By whom?
I don't know.
Didn't the monks tell you?
They couldn't. They'd taken a vow of silence.
Then you don't know who your parents are?
Nope. All I've got is this.
from beneath his shirt, Lone Star takes out a tarnished silver medallion that he wears around his neck.
It was around my neck.
Close up, the princess' hand. The princess cradles the medallion in her hand. There's an eagle-like emblem on the side and a strange hieroglyph writing on the other.
What is it?
I don't know. I've taken it to every wise man in the galaxy, but nobody can tell me what it means.
Another angle. Lone Star and the princess. She's still holding the medallion. Their faces are very close.
It's beautiful.
Music. You and the night, etc. They're both aware that the chemistry is heating up. Both them. They stare at each other for a moment in silence. Lone Star breaks the moment. He takes the medallion from the princess's hands and tucks it back into his.
So, how come you ran away from your own wedding?
I wasn't in love with the groom.
And why were you going to marry him?
Because I'm a princess, and I have to marry a prince.
But you don't love him.
I have a duty to my father and my planet. I must go back. I shouldn't have run away. I realize now that love is one luxury that a princess can't afford.
Without realizing it, the princess and Lone Star are moving closer to each other.
You're probably right.
I know now that I must learn to live without love.
I guess so.
I have no choice.
Of course you don't.
Besides, love isn't that important.
Nah, it isn't.
I think I could be perfectly happy the rest of my life without love.
Sure you could.
Without being held
Yeah,
or kissed.
yeah.
Their lips touch. They begin to melt into each other's arms. The mood is suddenly shattered by a whoosh, whoop, whoop, an OS alarm. They headed their heads whip around towards the source of the noise. Cut 2. The princess and Lone Star's POV. The whoop 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 sound is coming from Dot. Her eyes are flashing, alerting like the red and blue lights on the top of the police car. On her chest, a red light flashes on and off. It reads, Virgin alarm, virgin alarm, virgin alarm. Barf abruptly awakes. The alarm starts barking furiously. Dot rushes over, grabbing the princess and moving her away from Lone Star. She turns off her virgin alarm.
We'll have none of that, mister.
What the hell's going on? What was that noise?
Your master here set off my virgin alarm.
You're a virgin? I didn't even know droids did that.
You animal. You get back to bed, miss. And as for you, fly boy.
All right, all right. Let's all get some sleep. We gotta get moving before dawn.
Why so early?
Because we won't get very far once the blazing desert sun comes up.
They move off to their respective seating areas. Lone Star and the princess engage a last lingering look. Fade out. Fade in. The exterior sky. Close up this sun day. It seems enormous. A big burning ball fills the screen. The camera pans down to the desert. Exterior desert day. We see a hat box lying in the sand. Camera tracks over across the desert. Every few yards, we see another abandoned piece of luggage. Suitcases, tote bags, a large trunk, and finally, the industrial strength hair dryer. Cut to a wider shot. Other four pitiful heroes struggle in single file across the burning hot desert. Cut to another angle. Low. We see the sand dunes framed against the blue sky. Over the top of it, Strager's Lone Star, exhausted. His parched face comes towards the camera.
Water.
As Lone Star exits frame, Barf enters, panting like a thirsty dog, and he heads towards the camera. Water. As Barf exits the frame, Dot enters, heading towards the camera, exhausted.
Oil.
As Dot exits frame, the princess enters, and his head the camera.
Room service.
Dissolve through to exterior sky day. Music. A blazing yellow light suffers the exterior entire screen. Cameras pull back and reveal our heroes. Relentless enemies, the sun. Once again, the camera pans slowly down to the desert's floor. Cut to exterior desert day. Lone Star is carrying the princess, and Barf is carrying Dot's piggyback. I can't go much further. I can't.
Come on, Barf, old buddy. Just one more dune to go.
Barf falls to his knees. Yeah, that's what you said 3 dunes ago. Barf pops face down down in the sand.
Must go on. Must go on. Must go on. Who am I kidding?
Lone Star collapses with the princess in his arms. Music. Things are looking down. Sound. Obnoxious throbbing of Spaceball cruisers' engines. Cut to.
And that's where we'll cut to an intermission.
So good.
All right. Let's see. It's 43
almost
after the
done.
hour, and we can we'll have an intermission here, or we can decide if you want to continue. It's about 140 page script, and we're at page 64 right now. So we're not quite halfway through.
Yeah, I think this might be a good place to stop for
might be a good place
this
to
week.
stop and come back. Yep.
I think so. So much fun, though.
It is. And then, so if you guys need to go, you can. I'm going to stop sharing the screen here. If you want to take a 5-minute break, and those of you can stay and chat for a little bit, but the first half of the script would be great. And then we'll pick it up next Tuesday with a second half of the script and maybe a few more readers. So,
Thanks, everybody. It was
all right,
fun.
Jen, I know you have to go. So,
So I have to
It
go
was
speak
so
to-
much fun. Thank you for playing
All right.
Vespa.
Thank
It
you.
was
You're
great.
amazing.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Cool. Anyone else want to stick around for a little bit? Okay, all right. So I'll go and take a 5-minute break. Then we'll come back and a little discussion here and
All right.
first
Sounds good.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, bye.
Yeah.
Mine does that too.
finally managed to change my background from the Globe Theater to
Nice.
more appropriate Spaceballs here.
Yeah, every time I try changing it, and this computer, I don't know how this computer works, so I cannot never find a way. And there's like 18 million files in this computer, so
Oh man.
I had one computer, I couldn't do it unless I had an actual screen behind me, and a actual physical screen, blank screen.
yeah.
This one manages to do it though, which is nice. But
I love that you have a you have a you have a Star Wars cup at your place.
Oh,
Ernie
that
is
was
not
delivered.
lost on it.
I don't have a
know.
Spaceballs mug, so this is as close as I can get.
Nice.
So,
Oh,
mm.
yeah, no.
No, I love this spoof. I caught several references to other movies. This is being the most obvious, but of course, then there's the Star Trek reference with the "Beam Me Up, Scotty."
Mhm.
But yeah, I love Mel Brooks's writing. It's a little bit dated, and there's definitely some let's see, off-color jokes in here that may not have stood the test of time, but was very definitely common for the late '80s there.
Mhm.
Or
Some of
like
them
our
are
early
still so
2000s.
funny though. You can't like get mad at them because they're still real like they're really well. Like the whole Sanders like chicken. I mean that's so funny.
Colonel
I
Sanders chicken.
I
Um,
caught it, and then when they said the chicken thing, I was like, oh my gosh, they're really milking this joke.
yeah.
Like
Oh, I
I'm
love it.
surprised. Oh, go
Go
ahead.
ahead. Sorry. No, go ahead.
I was surprised in with this version of it, seeming to be more of like a original script before like rewrites and improv and everything, because you had a cast that probably had a lot of improvisational moments at this movie,
Mm-hmm.
and some of like the most iconic lines are not in the script, and I mean that tends to happen when you have
Tends to happen.
iconic movies, yeah. But I loved that we were kind of putting in the chat like the lines that weren't in there that we all know from it. The Virgin Alarm, it's set to go off before you do.
Yep.
What was
I
the
think it's a better
when they're
line. I can see why they kept it.
the best one when they're watching Spaceballs in real time, and he's like, "Don't show this. In fact, never show this again." Like,
That was my favorite line too. I love that's
I
ad libbed.
I
and
love that was probably one of my favorite scenes. It was
the
We're gonna
entire
go.
confusing.
No, it's past us. In fact, never watch this again.
never show this again.
Never show this again ever.
The was it just because maybe it's later, but I just watched it, so I could have sworn it was earlier. But isn't the keep firing assholes? Didn't that not? Isn't that earlier?
I thought
Didn't
it
it not
was
make it into the
two,
script?
but I maybe
Yeah.
it is later. I don't know.
Well, because when he's
It
like, "Who
must
made
be later.
like who made him whatever anyhow?" It's like he's an asshole, sir. It's like that
I think that's
entire
later. I think it's
okay.
later. But
Okay.
I do love that line. I've been waiting for it. It's like, yeah.
So good.
We'll have to wait for that one.
How
See if
many
it shows
assholes
up.
do we have here? Hush! Keep shooting, assholes! That's great.
Oh man. Yeah, it's just got so many, quick lines. But the Mudmen scene,
Yeah, that got completely taken out.
yeah, that got cut hard.
Oh,
I was
really?
wondering. I didn't remember seeing that in the movie, and I thought, huh.
Just
I
a
guess they have a
confusing
reason for that
scene.
hair dryer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see why. I mean, I think it's because of the joke of the industrial. They're trying to put in the joke of the industrial, how it's useful. 'Cause you can't live without it, but it's to justify that. But it's funnier if it's not justified,
Yeah,
and
because
they
then it's
end up
like it's
leaving it
completely
anyways.
pointless.
It's
Yeah.
completely pointless.
Yeah. No, I love that.
I can see why they left that part out.
Yeah. I think it works better without that
Yeah.
scene. But yeah, the entire time we were reading that, I was like, what is this bonus like quicksand scene we got going on here?
Like, what is
Oh,
happening?
I
And I
couldn't.
love all the visual jokes too. I mean, it's just like the radar's
Oh,
been jammed, and
yeah, that one's
it's
great.
very
Also, the high
Yeah.
noon, I did not understand that whole thing up until I read that. I was like, oh my gosh, I went over my head the whole time.
Yeah.
That's a joke of Clint Eastwood's High Noon. That's what that whole. It's so funny. I don't know how.
There were
It's just
so many good ones.
Yeah. You get a lot more of them when you're reading the directions with it, because you hear stuff that maybe you're not fully paying attention to, no matter how many. I mean, I've seen this movie, I can't even count how many times.
Right.
And that's the first time that I picked up on that. And I was like, oh, that makes so much sense now.
And some of it never even makes it into any of the filming. I mean, like the desert being similar to the back lot, right?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you don't know that that's what that is, but I think it's just like a little chuckle to all the people who are making it. It's more like that, I think, rather than a nod to us, the audience. It's for people reading the script. It's really funny.
It
It
would have
really
been
just,
hilarious.
it
Go
would
ahead.
have been. Oh, I was just saying it's really a testament to like Mel Brooks's humor because he
Mhm.
wrote the script and it just really is like how he does the out of the box thinking of the satire of everything.
Mhm.
So it's really funny.
I
Oh.
just, these kinds of movies, like anything that's got kind of a satire, quick wit sort of situation, it has a tendency to either be the funniest thing on the planet or the cringiest thing on the planet. And this movie somehow managed, because some of these jokes could fall so flat. But the fact that every single joke in this movie, no matter who you're watching it with, gets a laugh from somebody
Right. None
is
of them feel
absolutely
offensive.
hilarious.
They may be
None of them,
outdated, but they're not. I don't feel like any of them have been offensive so far.
it's like some of the ones like in this version of the script, and I think it's because a lot of us are used to the movie, but some of them I feel like personally they would fall flat, not because they're offensive or anything, but just because they don't quite have the detail behind it that some
Right.
of the lines that we love so much have.
Yeah,
And
I saw that they had Schmooky. I'm guessing that they had to change that because it got changed to Mog.
I was like, oh, Schmooky,
Dog,
that's new.
Gosh.
half dog. I'm my own
I'm
best
my own
friend.
best
Like,
friend.
Mog worked better.
Yeah.
Oh, and Jackson delivered that line perfectly. My
Oh
own
yeah.
best friend. I love that.
At some point, I think it was that line. I was like, I'm just gonna make him have my own voice. He is not gonna change a voice. I could not get the voice for him. I kept trying different voices, and then he was like, he's gonna have my voice. And then sometimes he'll change his accent a little bit. Add some hint of
Yeah.
flair. Um,
You
and
heard me.
then
I don't know if you heard me break when I was reading the directions, and when you popped it, you were supposed to pop in the window, and you're like, "Hi." It was for some reason the delivery, the funniest
You're
thing.
like,
I was ready for that. I was ready. I was like, I know what I have to do. I got my assignment. I'm gonna do this.
Oh, that was
Oh,
good.
I
That
love
was
being
really
Lone
good.
Star. It's so much fun.
I don't know. I'm having fun with it. I really liked reading for the whole romantic scene with Lone Star and Princess. And trying to read for the scene where they're watching Spaceball was confusing, but I was like,
Yeah.
I think I got there at some point. Oh,
It's actually funnier visually, I think, than reading it. It kind
Mhm.
of falls flat when you're reading it, but because it's a little confusing, but when you
yeah.
watch it, it's so gosh darn funny. It's
Because they
I
have
so
the
really
entire where they're like moving their arm and then like looking at the TV and watching it move in real time, and it's like
and
the
do this
silence there
like
makes it
this
funnier.
back and forth too in
Yeah,
real
they're like
time.
doing
It's
the quick
really
turns.
funny. It's
It's good.
like
Um,
you really need to
yeah.
have that comedic
I
timing as an
yeah.
actor for it. But it
yeah.
works so perfectly. Rick
I
Moranis is so perfect, like perfect in this role.
yeah. I
It makes me
really
wonder how they
tried
filmed that
to watch
particular
this.
scene too. I mean, how many times they had to do it to get the live actors to match the, you know, non-live actors, so to speak.
Right. What were you gonna say,
Yeah.
Jackson?
I was just saying, I really tried to watch this movie. Like, we went on and was searching up everywhere. I think it's on Amazon Prime.
Mhm.
Get on my Amazon Prime. And
Mm.
I was like, I was looking on many different places. I was like, I need to actually, like, I did that with Goonies. I was like, I have to rewatch Goonies. Never did. I couldn't find it anywhere. So
Never
I
say
don't know
die.
where you guys are finding all these things. At least in Canada, we cannot get any of these movies.
Oh, it's such a shame.
I
I
will
have
say
to admit,
But
mine are still on DVDs
with
and,
some
and
of like the
cassette
ones that
tapes.
are like classics that my family watches, like we have them on
yeah,
DVD because we know we're
yeah.
always going to be watching it. Like we have Spaceballs out in our living room right now. Like that's
I have only one Mel Brooks movie. It's my favorite one.
which
Which one
Young
is that?
Frankenstein. It's my favorite.
We were just talking about that earlier. A friend
Yeah.
of mine.
It's Frankenstein.
Yeah, no.
My name is
Abby.
Eagle. I thought it was Igor. Well, they was wrong, now wasn't it? It's just, I love it.
Abby something or other.
Abby, Abby Normal. Abby Normal, you gave me an Abby Normal brain! Love that.
oh
Oh my god,
gosh.
I love him so much in that movie.
They're
I
just
I
die.
was there were some points where I didn't even look at the screen, and then I'd hear a line and I was like, oh no, they're messing up. The one line where you were like purposely messing up, I thought that was all genuine, and I was looking away and I was like, oh no, I feel so bad because I do this all the time. And then I looked at it and it's like on purpose. I was like, oh my gosh, it's a real line.
Oh,
It's
the
a real
nemesis.
line.
Yeah, the
The
net
Nemesis.
the
Yeah, I
That's
think I jumped
Nemesis.
in on that one. You're
or that's
pronouncing it
not-
wrong. It's
Nemesis.
Nemesis.
That's not in the
It's on
movie. I wish
purpose.
it was. That was one of the jokes from this script that I wish was in the
That
movie because
wasn't
that
in
would
the
have been
movie.
hilarious. It wasn't.
That
Just
one's
I
the
so
thought
funny.
it was. That's so funny.
Nesimus.
Yeah.
That's just silly.
I loved it.
You're right, it isn't in there, but it's great.
I thought you
so
actually
good.
was like, I thought you were like, I'm done with this word. I'll change it. Like,
Yeah.
I thought that's exactly what you were doing. And I was like, and then I actually looked at it and I was like, oh, wait, that's in the script.
But my
That'd
sister
be
and I
funny
do
if I was just like, you know
the
what, Kat,
jams.
I'm not reading the script anymore. I'm changing the word completely.
So my sister and I will do the whole raspberry line, that joke. Like we do it all the time. It's so funny. She'll be like, raspberry. It's like only one person gives me the raspberry, and then we both go Lone Star. It's really funny.
This movie has a super special place in my heart, not just because like, you know, it's funny, it's hilarious and everything, but like the way that my dad and I growing up have always like shown affection for each other is through like movie quotes. That's been our thing. Like that's because he's super like huggy, lovey-dovey person, and that's totally fine. So we just do movie quotes. That's our thing.
That's great.
And so he'll just start like, I don't know if you guys can hear me because I froze up on my end.
We
But
can hear you. We
can
just
hear
can't
you.
see you move.
I'll just end in case you can't hear me. Continue.
Oh, there you go. No,
You're good.
continue,
Hi,
continue.
I'm back. Cool. For some reason it froze up. I was like, I know I'm plugged in. Cords are all plugged in. We're good. But this movie will just randomly, like, we wouldn't have even watched it recently. It's just someone will pick a quote and it'll just be off from there. We could probably quote the whole movie from beginning to end without stopping. And it used to drive my mother insane because we would just quote like 30 minutes worth of a movie.
Oh my.
So
It's
yeah,
so much
that's
fun.
the big one for this. It hasn't happened yet, so you know, spoiler alert, but I won't say anything too big. But it's just the entire you know, your dad's cousin's second, you know, that entire scene is like the number one quoted in my household. It's like, what's that make us? Absolutely nothing.
I love that line. I can't wait to get there.
I was
What?
watching
No.
I was watching some clips before this, trying to like figure out what the characters were, because obviously I haven't watched the movie. So every character I had, I went through and looked at clips of them and saw how they acted or whatever. Just quick little like 5 seconds clips. Every single one I laughed so hard with. Like the one in the future is the waitress scene.
Oh yeah, that one's so good.
I love
Hello,
that
my baby.
one.
Hello, my darling. Hello, my
I really liked
Hello,
also
my sweet
the wedding
darling.
ceremony where she's like, the dude performs his lines perfectly. He's just like, in this, because it cuts and tells you what's happening, you don't get the full effect. But when I was watching it, it was like, okay, and so we pronounce you, and she's going down the way with her rollerblade. Like,
and she's going down the aisle, and she's gone,
Yeah.
and well, here we go, and now we have to go say amen. I mean, it was kind of,
So-
yeah.
I don't think it says it in this script version, but that scene, one of the best parts is that Dot is on like wheels. So as she's running with the veil, she's just getting dragged behind like she's got heelys in her shoes.
Yeah, it did actually
It
say
did
that.
mention that, yeah.
It did? Okay.
Yeah, no, I was loving it. I love it. I can't wait. And I don't know why the man sounds like a child. He speaks like so young for his age, her dad. when I spoke, when it came out of my voice, I was like, this man sounds a lot younger right now than he actually is. I was so confused. I sometimes my words or my voice just changes, and it's the
I can't
weirdest
wait
thing.
for the password. The password joke is gonna be it's so funny. It's
Ugh.
my favorite.
Change the
So
combination of my luggage.
Yeah, the scene that's really missing, I caught my eye on this one, is the Doublemint twins. They are not in here. Um, there's the Doublemint twins are in with in bed, I think, with President.
I think
Maybe
that's later.
it's later. I thought it was
Yeah, that's
earlier.
later.
Maybe
It
it's in
hasn't
the
happened
future.
yet.
Okay, so we'll see if that one shows up or not. I thought it was earlier and I didn't see it, so I was looking for that one. But I
No,
really liked the Mr. Radar scene and Mr. Coffee scene.
that
And,
one's
it's
funny.
very,
I
very
don't.
dated. You have to know what Mr. Coffee is, but I just again a nice, really good visual one I liked.
Oh, clearly I laughed at the wrong thing. I was just thinking it was funny that they labeled it Mr. Coffee. I didn't realize there's an actual thing behind that. Oh,
Yeah,
it's
I,
the
It
curse
froze
of
when you
being
were just
young.
talking, Kat, so I don't know if you said this line, so if I'm repeating you, I'm so sorry. But the line that wasn't in there about of course, I love having Mr. Coffee with my radar. And isn't that right? And everybody's like, uh-huh. Like just really but it's just like he's so
I love it when
oh
and then the visual. You don't see it in there. I think this is an ad lib visual, but it's when he drinks the coffee and then he like spits it out. Like he's like
it's like it
ah.
just boom, the whole like it's like a garage door, it just boom down on the coffee. It's so good.
Oh,
Oh, the entire Dark Helmet like mask thing is just there's
So
nothing like
good.
it. It's so good.
No.
And I love how many references in the script to him being just small. Like they're just like
Yes.
he's tiny.
Like his
yeah.
little itty bitty
Get the
legs coming up.
stool.
The movie he's holding onto the bar and his legs are just flapping.
It's the original Farquaad. That's all I could think. I was like, oh, it's
Yes,
Farquaad.
it's Farquaad. It's Space Farquaad.
It's Space Farquaad. Got it.
Oh
Oh.
Yeah,
gosh.
he
Oh,
must have had Rick Moranis in mind when he wrote this script because
Oh
of
yeah.
that, and because Rick is about as far as from the intimidating Darth Vader as you can probably get.
right.
Mm-hmm.
He's just this is like I said, he's perfect for this script.
Oh yeah, I can't imagine anyone else being Dark Helmet, but besides Rick Moranis. Oh, and I
So
love it when oh man, it's gonna get later in there, but I love when he's playing with the dolls. It's so funny.
That's why I humbly if the person originally is not available, I humbly ask to revise my to reprise my role as Dark Helmet just for the doll scene alone.
I just love being a Lone Star. I don't mind. It's so much fun being him.
uh,
I just like no, I didn't see you playing with your dolls again, sir.
I'm
How
sorry,
many
Jen.
times have I told you not to come into my room?
Jen as the princess was pretty fun today too.
Jen
She's
was
got
Yes.
this
great
Oh
as
I
the
my
she was
princess.
god.
doing so well. Oh, I love that part where all the parts, the one where it was like the hot sun, and then she's like, my luggage or something. Wasn't it like something with
room
the
service.
luggage?
Room
Oh,
Room
service.
the room service.
Room
I
service.
loved it. She did so good on that voice.
Oh, it's
Mhm.
such a
Um,
small thing, but it's not in the script. When Barf walks into the Winnebago with her luggage, and in the movie he's still got it in his mouth, and he's like, "Her Royal Highness's mashed luggage." It's such a small detail, and it's the funniest thing in the entire world. You were
the
saying,
other
Audrey, I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's okay. The other thing is that they didn't have a script. I mean, I think it got ad-libbed. I mean, it's kind of in the script, but it isn't. But it's when they finally meet each other, and he's like, "You will not refer to me as your idiot, but you will refer to me as a captain." It actually got switched in the final product where it was like, "You will
Yeah.
not refer to me as captain. You will refer to me as idiot." And it's just really funny because it's like it makes sense because they're kind of both they're like, oh, oh my. But it's pretty funny.
Oh gosh, it's just yeah. There's
I
so
mean,
many
I still think
moments
it
that
works without it, but it's
oh
still
yeah,
good.
it's so good. It's so interesting, especially like groups like this to read when you see a script that seems to be an original and you can kind of compare and see what made it, what didn't, and what got made better.
What worked and what didn't. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's one of the things I like looking at original scripts
Mhm.
for that. Like Alien, for instance, looking at that script is
I
really
would love to do
interesting.
the Alien
Yeah.
script. I love
Well,
Well,
and
and
there's
like in the
just
beginning too, there's
yeah.
like you went when Tori says, you went over my head. I think in the movie it says you went over my helmet.
Yeah.
Yes,
So slightly different there. I think it works better with helmet.
yeah.
There's little jokes there, and especially like I said, when you have a cast like this who's just full of people who are comedic improvisers, who are good at that, quick responding to things. It's like
John
who
Candy was
knows?
such a genius in his day with how to get things. His
Him as
comedic
Barf
timing was
is
so good. Oh.
just beautiful. It's just absolutely gorgeous. The tail everywhere is just
And him going, oh, John Candy gone too soon.
oh.
I don't know if you ever saw his last film, Wagons East, but that one's also just really funny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
There's just so many in this film that because
yeah.
there's rumors or there's things about a remake, right?
For this
I had
one?
no
For
idea.
this, I've been seeing it's gonna have Mel Brooks, I think, still doing like the directing and everything for it, and they had a couple actors that they were talking to, but I'm cautiously optimistic with the fact that Mel Brooks is still going to be involved.
It's so
But
sad, but the best I could see as Dark Helmet is Adam Driver for some reason. I don't know why, but Adam Driver just strikes me as being hilariously perfect for
Kylo
Dark
Ren
Helmet.
being Dark
he's so good at
Helmet.
comedy. He doesn't get a
He
lot of opportunities to do comedy, and so seeing him in like a straight comedic role, especially with the fact that he was Kylo Ren, would be because the thing was so. Funnily enough, when Kat told me I was reading Dark Helmet tonight, I was looking for. I do have a Kylo Ren mask, and I can't find it, so that's why I ended up with a ghoul mask. But I was
That's hilarious.
I was gonna put the Kylo Ren mask on because I was like, it's basically the same principle. But yeah, I'm hesitant because, like we said, these are such amazing actors that no one else can see anyone play these roles. That I'm hesitant to see anyone try.
Yeah.
But yeah, comedic timing's so good though. You just really have
Yeah.
to have that comedic timing down.
Yeah.
And I think there are some really good comedic actors that could pull some of this up. Like like I said, like Adam Driver is really actually quite comedically funny. So
Yeah.
and there are some other ones that I think could possibly pull it off.
Yeah. I'm
Like Andrew
interested to see.
Garfield. Funny enough, I could see doing Lone Star because he's actually quite
That's
funny.
true. That's true.
See him doing it.
We would just get Tom Hiddleston as Colonel Sanders and call it a day because I think that'd be interesting to see.
I love Tom Hiddleston.
Then we have
Yeah,
the
me
height
too.
difference going on because Adam Driver's not very. He's pretty tall too.
He's pretty tall. You'd have to force perspective. But anyways, I just thought it'd be. I mean, just thinking of
Yeah.
the personality and comedic chops,
Yeah.
I think he could pull it off. But yeah, you'd probably want someone who's a smaller, less intimidating guy. But I don't know if anybody got intimidated by Adam Driver.
Or it's just Spaceballs where every single character is played by Mel Brooks. Every single character is just Mel Brooks.
That's so funny. Oh man.
That would be
All right, guys,
hilarious.
I need to get going.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys have a wonderful night. It was so
You
You
fun.
too.
It's
Yeah,
fun.
bye.
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 Bye. All right. Probably time for us to go too.
Yes.
But we'll catch you all in a week, hopefully. And maybe I think I'll let Vicky know because I know she's sad she missed this one. And
Yes.
Tamira coming back next week with us too. So and Judy
Cool.
who didn't get to read
Cool.
today. So we have slightly more than half the script left. So plenty more lines for everybody.
It'll be a great time.
Excited.
Okay. Well, I'll catch. Good night, you all, and thanks so much for your
Good
reading.
night.
So much
Thank
fun.
you. Have a good night.
Thank you,
Good
Kat.
night. Yep.
Thank you.
Good night.
See ya.